Howdy. I'm trying to do another hobby update, but a recommendation I had from someone who watched one of the previous videos was that it would be more interesting for people to see some amount of actual hobby work being done while doing a hobby update. And I hope to use previous videos I've taken, but not sure if the camera pose is really good for that, and I don't know how to use editing software. I'm going to take a look at that some tonight. I don't think I'll be able to input that, but right now I'm just working on magnetizing bases using some Green Stuff World 25mm round base stickers, but because the adhesive used on the sticker sheet, I find it not to be strong enough to adhere to the plastic as opposed to adhering the magnet to whatever it's magnetized to, so I've just seen them fall off. So I'm adding a bit of super glue. I think you can actually see it in the reflection going on here. The way I've just patterned it is a dot in the center and then a little circle around that. So that's my solution. But in case I'm not able to clip in the video of me working on this as the experiment, basically I'm just trying to set up a better storage system than what I have currently, so I can adjust things more easily. Ooh, I actually don't like that mold line. But just trying to make it easier for me to adjust things, as well as making it a lot more certain and definite that I will be able to preserve models in storage and transport, especially after they're painted. As me modeling everything, that's a big effort. Then painting, once it's painted, I want to rely on it staying painted unless I feel like I want to change something about the paint job, which there are models I've painted that I want to go back and repaint. Heck, there's even stuff that I've just primed that I did a terrible job priming and I want to refine. But yeah, just took care of a quick mold line there. I still haven't put this guy on the base. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and do that because I know what I want to do. I'm going to have him looking away from the stuff that he's hiding behind. I've also decided how I want to base the guys from this kit, or I hesitate to even call it a kit because they're monopose, monocomponent models. I'm not sure how much of a kit that is, but this set on these models, how I want to pose, or how I want to base the gentlemen who are crouching and this one who's prone, is I want to make a fence post out of a piece of this, let me see if I can get it shot, a piece of this square profile balsa wood. I can use that as a fence post, and then use some of the cardstock that I have already cut out as boards for the fence post. So I'll glue those on. Oh, come on, focus, down here, down here. Come on. Hello. Okay, that was weird. Anyways, going to glue those boards onto the posts, and then I'll set those up with some bushes in front of them, so they'll be hiding in soft cover from a bolt action perspective. Of course, they're not going to be getting constant soft cover. It's just a thing to make them look more visually interesting. And I do aspire to run them as a squad together. I rather like the idea of having a unified theme between squads, even if I haven't really been good about that, honestly. But I also realized I had one guy from the Ranger kit I had just wandering around loose. And this, come on, but I realized, yeah, he's a lot chunkier than There was one of a comparable pose. He's, I want to say honestly, about the same height as the Perry guys, but he's chunkier. His head is a bit bigger than the Perry head. I'm sorry, I'll try to take hand photos and see if I can splice those into the video. But that was just something I observed. I still have not made physical progress on the Greyhound, and you may be able to just barely see this AT gun that I've had in partial assembly for a while. I have made progress on that. I still have bits and pieces all over the place. One thing I have made progress on is I have started doing a little bit of work with the plastic kit from Perry Miniatures. I have clipped out some of the models from the regular sprue. I have even clipped out a few bits from the command sprue. And in total, I have made a few guys. So each regular infantry sprue includes 2 prone poses, a few crouching ones, and a good number of standing ones, and then the command sprue includes a few more poses, but got the prone guys. Some arms are dedicated for prone models, some are dedicated for crouching and standing. I appreciate having an actual firing pose for the BAR with this kit. Unlike the Warlord Ranger kit, I kind of felt like there wasn't really a crouching pose. There is also something I love, a reloading pose in here. Man fixing to put an M-block into his rifle. So I love that. Also, a hand radio included in the kit. Man with a holster modeled onto him. So usually these are 4-piece models if you don't put on the backpacks. Looks like there are also extra pouches for ammo. The crouching poses have a separate leg, as do some of the standing / running poses, so that adds another component. You can have some arms are 1 piece, some are 2, or arm pairs, I mean. That's a grenade. They do have bayonets. I don't think it's a fighting knife or anything. I think that's just the bayonets are separate. Backpacks are separate, which I appreciate, because I also think these backpacks are early war. I'm not totally sure though, but I feel like there's a good bit of variety in this. There are multiple different Thompsons. There are 2 different Thompsons on the main infantry sprue that I can see. There are 2 different BARs on the main infantry sprue. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different Garands, 1 Springfield, just on the infantry sprue. And then on the command sprue, there is a grease gun, which, as much as I love the grease gun, it was not actually as common as a Thompson, in part because production on it started late. So there's a grease gun, there is an unholstered pistol, there is an extra holstered pistol, there is an extra Thompson, there are 3 carbines, all of them in hand, one of them just being held at a, I believe, low carry, 2 of them in 2-hand poses. There is a bazooka, there is a Springfield sniper, there is a raw Garand, so it's not actually held in hand, it's loose, which I think is great for modeling purposes, doing stuff non-traditionally that allows you to have someone with their hands full doing something else, but you still have a full Garand that you can put near or even on the back of the model, so their weapon is accounted for. I really like that. I wish that there were loose versions of some of the other weapons, but there are limits, I realize. I still wish that there were more loose versions, honestly. There is also, I already mentioned the bazooka, there is a proper loader pose for the bazooka, which I appreciate. There's a Browning 30 cal here that you can have with the gunner firing or with his hands off of it. And there are 2 specific command arm poses for the left arms, and you could theoretically include the radio as another left arm command pose. I actually used the right arm of the bazooka loader as a command pose, just putting a hand out in this way as though he's talking to an artillery battery to hold fire or something like that. I thought that was neat. That was a bit of my untraditional, it's not untraditional necessarily, but doing it against what the instructions specifically say, what it's specifically designed for. I rather like this kit. I think it's interesting. It's a lot bigger, I think, than the Warlord kit, or maybe there's just more pieces on here because the scale is generally smaller. I mean, Warlord and Perry both seem to be working in 1/56 scale, but I don't think it's uncommon knowledge that Warlord is working in an increasingly heroic scale, which I hope one day to have a substantive conversation about such. But also, something that was brought up in one of the reviews I saw of the Perry box is that the base sizes are not 25mm. And when I saw the prone bases, I actually was a little bit excited. Maybe I can use the prone bases. These are 20mm in width, so even these aren't technically accurate for bolt action. But I hate to just waste perfectly good sprue. There has got to be a use for this. I just don't know it yet. Anyways, I have not been able to prime anything else recently. I have not been able to work on painting. My lovely fiancée has given me a gift, an Army Painter wet palette. I hope to use this before the end of the year, but I don't know how much painting I'm going to be able to get done. I am thinking of quickly trying to work on, at least for the standing metal models, putting down some technical paint, because I got this years ago from Citadel when I was still into Warhammer, and I just haven't used it all. Oh, speaking of, let me see if I can, this will be a bit of shaky cam for a bit, but I have finally assembled and put into place the paint shelves that I got. So I've got it filled almost to the brim with stuff and things. So hopefully that will help me when I finally do get back to painting with actually making that happen. Anyways, I'm going to try to base the standing models tonight. Otherwise, that's pretty much a hobby update for this week. I do hope to have some substantive videos coming up before the end of the year, but I am rather busy. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to get out the kind of stuff I wanted to. I am going to order some single sprues from Warlord. I want to actually do a comparison of the companies that I know and the kits that I know on specific subjects and see how they're executed. I, at this point, think I have every multi-part plastic kit for just generic American GIs. I have Rangers as well. I don't have the old metal Ranger upgrades. I may talk with Warlord about whether I can order some of those, because I'm rather interested in those. See if I can clear out some of the remaining inventory there. They probably don't have any though. And then I also have American Marines from Warlord. I think that's it. I have 2 different versions of Warlord's American GI kit, plus the Ranger kit, the new Ranger kit, and want to compare those. I have Perry miniatures, GIs. I think at this point what I need to order to have a sprue of each is the Warlord D-Day Airborne and Market Garden Airborne from the US, as those are different generations of models, different stylings. It's probably going to be in different scales if I understand correctly, but I want to see if I can put out some videos reviewing, no, not necessarily reviewing the kits. I don't think I have much to contribute there, but informing people about the contents of the kits, and then a summary video of sorts that actually puts all the kits side by side and shows here's how they mix, here's how they don't, here's scale differences, stylistic differences, equipment differences. Just try to put something out there to help people make more informed decisions, because I think it's very easy to just say, oh, I am playing bolt action. Bolt action is produced by Warlord. Warlord produces these kits, and therefore that's the official model. I've seen people talk about, hey, can I use proxy models for just a Second World War major power infantryman? See, just because it's not manufactured by Warlord doesn't mean it's a proxy. It's a World War II game. You can use relevant models. You could even use fantastical stuff. I personally find it more enjoyable when using stuff that is reasonably representative of what was actually used. And I do enjoy having a consistent scale. I enjoy interesting poses. And I think it would be beneficial to have a discussion about what options there are, and maybe a discussion about what aspects of the different options may speak to different people. But I've been rambling too much at this point. I'm sorry that I don't have a lot to show again, but I am still making progress. I want you to remember that every bit of progress you make, it can be an hour a week, it can be, at this point, I think I've had 3 hours of actual hobbying going on, and I've still made some kind of progress. And you don't have to make progress every week. You don't have to make a lot of progress, but every little bit helps. And I know that we all aspire to have a painted army. Right now I'm in a position where I'm in a bolt action league. I want to have an army that can perform competently. So I'm rushing some of the building and unfortunately skipping a lot of the painting so that I can have models to put on the board so that I can play hopefully a bit more successfully. I'm going to have a couple more matches at the end of this month, and yeah, so I just want to encourage people to keep on plugging away at it, and I hope that you get to share your progress with other people and show what kind of cool stuff you're working on. I'm going to try to take a look at the comments from the last video and respond to those. I should honestly be doing that before these videos, but I'm really firing from the hip here with all the stuff that I'm doing. So I hope all of you have a good rest of your week, and I hope that you're doing well. I pray the best for all of you, and guess that's it. Have a good one. Bye.